All right, let's take a look at Shannon Pluhowsky's game. Now, one of our left-handers on the women's team. Very dominant player throughout the years. Very strong player. So we kind of watch the rhythm as she's going into the approach. And again, as you'll see with a lot of players, very steady head as she drives into the final finish position. One thing that's very unique about Shannon and a lot of our players, you'll see once in a while you'll go heel toe into the finish position. As long as your player is not having, or yourself, or you're not having that knee pain, you know, that's not a thing to really worry about. Some of the really good players do this, especially a lot of the two-handers. We just want to make sure that we don't cause any liability of that knee, and I'll show you why in a minute. But one thing we're doing here, right at the top of the backswing, see the ball's in a very powerful position at the top of the backswing as she drives into the finish. Let's go ahead and take a look at the front view because I want you to see what we're talking about with that sliding knee. As she comes forward, gets that ball in a good alignment of her head as she comes forward, you'll see that the knee stays right above the ankle and right above the toe. So everything is coming in the same direction. What you want to watch out for, or where there are going to be liabilities, if the knee's going one direction or another and not going in the same direction as the sliding toe. Generally, we don't want to teach the plant, but at a player at this level, we would ruin her game by trying to tell her you have to slide because that's what the book says. So you have a player that plants, make sure there's not a liability. If it's a liability, you do want to address it. But player at this level, not having knee pins and everything, we're not going to even worry about it. So Shannon comes into a strong position, and we've talked about this at other players in the series. If you take a look at her hip, go on the shoulder, there that ball gets into that V again. Gets nice into that V right there at the bottom of the swing. This is where a lot of your players are going to have a lot of versatility because it gets into that window. They can do different things with their hand. Let's take a look at Shannon's top view. Take a look at her footwork. So you'll notice that her first step on the ball side gets in front of her slide foot. And then she really loads up here at the top of the swing and drives through to the finish. Now, one thing that we've been working with Shannon, and I'll show you here on the back view of Shannon, is we've been kind of working on that swing a little bit. Is that as she comes back, she pushes out to the left a little bit. Generally, we want to see it a little right. And then she has this little cup right there at the bottom. And we've been working on trying to tighten that up a little bit so there's not so much movement there at the top. And I think if you watch the tour this year, you're going to see that that thing's actually improved. So Shannon, one of our best players, and especially from the left side of the lane, very versatile, a very dynamic player.